So. Music. Music is something that if you were to ask many people what their definition is, you would get a variety of different answers. Some would call it a beautiful blending of sounds. Others would say something like sounds that come together to make a melody. And still others would call it sounds filled with emotions. Dictionary.com says that music is an art of sound in time that expresses ideas and emotions in significant forms through the elements of rhythm, melody, harmony, and color. I think that kids should be required to take at least one semester of music education, band, choir, or another music class once a year, starting in preschool and going through 6th grade. After 6th grade, they can choose whether or not they would like to be in a music class. Kids should take these music classes because they help develop brain areas involved in language and reasoning. They teach teamwork and discipline, and music gives children a means of self-expression and boosts their self-esteem and self-confidence. Starting out with my first point, music classes help develop brain areas involved in language and reasoning and have been proven to boost standardized test scores. Music helps with spatial intelligence, which is perceiving the world around you accurately and also picturing things in your mind to solve problems. Brain development continues for many years after you're born, so starting these classes when you're preschool will help further develop their brain. Francis H. Rosher, who's a PhD in psychology, did an 8-month study where 19 preschoolers ranging from 3 to 5 years old received weekly keyboard and daily singing lessons. 15 other preschoolers were the control group, and they received no musical training at all. At the start, middle, and end of the study, the kids were tested on 5 spatial reasoning tasks, one of which was building a puzzle to form a picture. Both groups started with the same score. After only 4 months, scores of the 19 preschoolers with musical training improved dramatically, whereas the control group scores didn't. They've also been proven to help boost standardized test scores such as the SAT. Christopher Johnson, a University of Kansas professor and associate dean of the School of Fine Arts, completed a report published in the Journal of Research in Music Education, which states that the quality of music programs relates to participating students' test scores. Christopher Johnson studied 4,739 elementary and junior high school students from all over the country. His findings were that students in good music programs scored better on standardized tests than students in worse music programs or no music programs at all. The National Association for Music Education determined the quality of the music program studied. Along with boosting a child's brain power and test scores, music can boost a child's teamwork and discipline. Going to practice improves your discipline because in order to sound good, you have to make it to all the practices. And in order to make it to the practices, you need to have the discipline to show up on time. Being in a band or an orchestra helps improve your teamwork because you need to work together in order to create harmonies and make a melody to make beautiful music. If one of you are off, it makes the whole band sound bad. Paul McCartney was quoted saying, "I love to hear a choir. I love the humanity, to see the faces of real people devoting themselves to a piece of music. I like the teamwork. It makes me feel optimistic about the human race when I see them cooperating like that." Lisa Jukkola, who is a PhD student at the University of Helsinki, stated that music is a social communication between individuals. Darwin proposed that singing is used to attract the opposite sex. Furthermore, Lullabies are implied to attach infant to a parent. And singing or playing music together may add group cohesion. Thus, it's justified to hypothesize that the perception and creativity in music are linked to the same phenotypic spectrum of human cognitive social skills, like human bonding and altruism, both associated with ABPR1A. We have shown for the first time in the molecular level that music perception has an attachment-creating impact. So I know at the end it got kind of deep and confusing, but what she's saying here is she's saying that music, right down to your DNA, has an attachment and a bonding impact. And she talks about AVPR1A. Well, what that is that's a gene that enables a hormone which implicates social bonding to act on the brain cells. And that furthers teamwork. With social skills comes self-esteem. Being a part of music helps boost your self-esteem and your self-confidence. Being in a band makes a person feel like they actually belong to something, which can boost their self-esteem. A study by Dr. D. Brian Eby of the University of Arizona stated, subjects reported that playing a sport or performing in an ensemble helped them experience positive feelings about themselves and provided them with achievable goals, musical or athletic, that also contributed to feelings of personal satisfaction and well-being. Self-confidence comes from performing in front of a group. In order to play your instrument in front of an audience for the first time, it can be really scary. And in order to do that, you really need to have confidence in what you're doing. And once you do it well for the first time, your confidence builds and builds until it just becomes natural. Billy Joel was quoted saying, "I think that music in itself is healing. It's an explosive expression of humanity. It's something we're all touched by, no matter what culture we're from. Everyone loves music." As you can see, music education helps develop children's brains, it teaches kids teamwork and discipline, and it boosts their self-esteem and self-confidence. If kids were to take at least one semester per year, starting in kindergarten through 6th grade, of music classes, kids would be critical thinkers. They would work as a team more, and they would have high self-esteem. I love how Martin Luther sums up music. He says, "Next to the Word of God, the noble art of music is the greatest treasure in the world."